All right, everyone, good morning. So we're gonna get started here. I'm gonna break down my watch list. Welcome to the morning show. Thank you for those who are tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube. Appreciate you guys being here. Game plan this morning, same as always, trying to find a couple of stocks that I think look good. And I've already taken a few trades today. You'll be able to see my P&L right here in the top corner. Let's see, right up there, you can see my P&L. So I'm up right now, $1,968.52, which is good. I'm gonna be continuing to trade as the morning goes on. I'll be here till about 11 today. And I've been here already watching the market since 7. I've been streaming since, actually, I don't know what time I started the stream, but in any case, so before we get started, I wanna remind everyone generally of kind of what my goal is. I'm looking for stocks I think have the potential to make a 30, 40, 50% move. Today, I traded BMR. BMR all-time high was $3.96, and today, this morning, it squeezed from $2.34 to just under $7, over 100%. That is phenomenal. That's a big move. This is what we would call a recent IPO breakout. It was one of my favorite setups because these ones can be so explosive. So we got a really nice move on this one, which is great to see. I got some trades on it sort of through this whole move. My first entry was at $4.35, which was nice right before the break of 440. Traded it through that move higher and then have traded it through this area. There are some sellers on it, and right now it's below VWAP, which is not a perfect position. So it's pulled back a little bit. It's consolidating here. I'm not sure whether or not I am going to get more trades on it, but I may. So right now we'll just have to see what it gives us. In terms of shares available to borrow, I show borrows at 18.5 cents per share. So to borrow 10,000 shares would cost you $1,850 if you borrowed 10,000 shares. All right, so there are shares available to borrow, but they're kind of expensive. That's one of the challenges with being a short seller, is having to pay the borrow fees. So you've got your commission, you've got your ECN fees, and you've got the borrow fees. This one's not one that's easy to borrow. Of course, there are stocks out there that are easy to borrow. You know, NVIDIA, I saw this one is up 30% today. It is easy to borrow. So you've got the big E right there, easy to borrow. But that, of course, wouldn't be one that I would trade for a variety of reasons. Okay, so leading gapper this morning is BMR. My thinking is, you know, does this stock meet the criteria of being the right type of stock to trade? So again, what are we looking for? We're looking for a stock already that's up 10%. Check. We're looking for a stock that has high relative volume. Check. The relative volume on BMR right now is 63,000. So that's fantastic. Anything above 5 is good. So it's got that. It's priced between 2 and 20. Check. All right. It has some type of news catalyst. We do have a news catalyst. It was posted earlier today. Someone could post the headline in here. You know, I don't read the news carefully. One of the things that I've struggled with in the past is getting a bias, because I read the news and I'm like, oh, I think it means this. And at the end of the day, the chart is what it means, right? So if the stock is going up, the news might sound bad, but the price goes up. So it's so traded as the chart indicates. And then number 5, we should have a float of less than 20 million shares. And in this case, we do. So we've got check, 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 check. Meets all of my 5 criteria for being a stock worth trading. And then what this one also has going for it is that extra juice factor of being a recent IPO. So it's great. The only downside is that it already made a pretty big move earlier, and it was very thin when it made that move, so it was hard to take big size, and there was a lot of slippage. So I wasn't able to make a lot of money on it. Now we've seen some selling come in, and we've seen a few orders where it looked like almost like a 50,000 share marketable limit order, where someone puts out a limit order 50 cents below the current bid and just press sell for this big order, and all of a sudden the stock flushes down to that price, and then you see a big seller at, you know, the whole dollar. We saw it at 6, we've seen it at 5. So that makes me wonder if there's insiders that are selling shares, or people that had shares from the IPO that are selling, because after all, it is up 136% right now. and it's at the highest price it's ever been. So it does make sense that there would be some people who would sell. Now the volume today is 6.5 million shares. The IPO was for about 12 million shares. So, there were 12 million shares out there that were purchased at a lower price than it's currently trading at. So you could have 12 million shares potentially of people that want to sell. If the volume was 20 million or 30 million or 40 million, and it might be by the end of the day, that would be enough to absorb the selling. But right now, I feel like the volume might not be quite high enough to absorb the selling that we're seeing. In fact, if it was, it wouldn't be pulling back and below VWAP as it currently is. So not an ideal chart pattern right now, but it might be something to work with. For those of you guys tuning in who want to learn more about technical analysis, if you want to read my book, How to Day Trade, we have a link that we're going to put in the comments. We'll pin it to the description, pin it to the top of the comments on YouTube. And it's a link where you can join our newsletter, and we'll email you. The first thing we'll do is we'll email you this page here where you can download these gifts. All right, so you've got, let's see, Live Trading Archive, FOMO Friday, Technical Analysis, How to Day Trade book, Micro Pullback Strategy, Pre-Trading Checklist, Small Account Worksheet. All right, so everyone that's on the newsletter, you'll be able to download these assets, and everyone who's on the newsletter will get email-only invitations. So we're doing a couple things by email only to celebrate our anniversary. It's my 10-year anniversary of uploading content to YouTube. So we've got a trial that we're doing for folks. So people that are interested in doing a trial at Warrior Trading, you'd be able to get an email about that. We also have some special discounts that you guys will be able to get access to as well. All right, so there's some good things for those that are on that email newsletter. All right, so right now it's 9:07, and at this point, BMR seems to be the most obvious, but I'm not sure if, I'm a little unsure when I'm going to feel comfortable getting back in it, because right now it's below volume weighted average price. All right, so I'm going to keep this one on watch for a few minutes. So next one down is KBNT. So KBNT is up 114%, but its price is just $1. So that to me is a little bit too cheap. I don't usually like trading these low price stocks. So that's KBNT. WLDS, 85 cents. That one's too cheap as well. NA, $2.17, but the float's 55 million shares, so it's a little higher. Not in love with that one. Chart doesn't look good anyways, so it doesn't matter. IFBD. This is volume profile that I put on here. I really was using it just to analyze the chart on BMR earlier this morning. JWAC. JWAC, let's see. Yeah. Right now, not sure about that. This looks like it was a SPAC, a special acquisition company, did a merger, sold off, came back up, sold off, coming back up here a bit. Not sure about that one. Now the float is a little bit higher on it. Let's see. But sometimes the higher float can be overcome by the fact that something is a recent SPAC merger. $14 million shares. Yeah, okay, so fine. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see about this one. I'm not sure. MEOA, right, so that one made a big move yesterday, went from a low of 10 up to $43 a share, which is impressive. There's no question about it. So it squeezed up pretty much at the open, halted up, opened higher, halted down, halted up, halted up, halted up, halted down, halted up, halted up, halted up, halted down, halted up, halted down, and then halted on a T12. So that one is halted. Let's see. By the exchange. So T12 right here. So this means it's halted, and NASDAQ has requested more information from the company. All right, so that's going to remain halted until the company answers, I guess, that NASDAQ has, which may well be why did your stock go up 400% yesterday? And I'm not sure if there's a reason for it. I think there was news of a vote of a merger. I don't think the merger took place. It was a vote that was going to happen on the 26th, I think, which is tomorrow. So then there were redemptions, but I don't know how yesterday's price action might change that. So I don't know what's going to happen with this one. But that highlights the risk of holding these, over trading them. Let's see. Yeah, and it is, it's interesting which stocks do get halted on T12 and which don't. I don't know exactly the rhyme or reason. HKD made this incredible move, and I don't think there was ever a T12 halt on it. But anyways, it's unfortunate if you get stuck in a T12. Hey, Timmy, good morning. All right, so let's see. And for those of you guys tuned in on Facebook and YouTube, thank you guys for being here for the morning show. I hope you hit the thumbs up. I hope you're enjoying the morning show. We're back right now celebrating our anniversary. It's been 10 years of uploading videos on YouTube, which is crazy. I can't believe it's been 10 years. So I want to thank you guys who have been subscribers, who have been watching and tuning in. Really appreciate it. So I wanted to do something to celebrate, and that's why we have brought back the morning show here. All right, so BMR is clearly the most obvious stock today. The question is just whether or not we're going to feel comfortable trading it. I want to try doing something real quick. Let's see. Let's go try doing this. It's a little bit different. Let's see how it feels. So put the 5 minute, make it a little smaller, and then have the 1 minute and the 10-second side by side. Sometimes I'm fighting for space with the 1 minute and the 10 seconds. So I'll just try it like this for the rest of the day and see how this works for me. All right, so let's see. Let's check. Let's see, recent IPO top moving. All right, so those ones pulled back, so they're off the list. Continuation. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it. They've been tuning in since 2016. That's awesome. So I do look at the 10-second chart in my trading quite a bit, especially with fast moving stocks. So, you know, something like BMR, for looking at dips, I am going to use the 10-second chart. One of the things that, so for, you know, for those of you guys who have been tuning in and know, you know, over the last, well, so in 2017, I hired a development team and we started working on building out our own custom chat room. You know, that was before Discord even, I think, existed, or certainly before it offered live streaming and stuff like that. It was at a time where the software that people were using, like GoToWebinar, stuff like that, GoToMeeting, it really wasn't very good for hosting these types of sessions, you know, where you had to give people like password only access and this and that. It was just, it wasn't good. And, you know, our community was growing. And so we knew we needed something. And so I hired this development team. And the goal, the vision from the beginning was to build out the ultimate trading platform. And, you know, we sort of envisioned the whole thing that it would have the chat, it would have chat room, it would have scanners, it would have charts, it would have live trading, it would have metrics, it would have everything built in. And, you know, that's a huge project to take on. So we started with first things first. What we needed was a better chat room platform because the old one was not functioning well. And I said, well, we need a platform where I can live stream to thousands of people, potentially tens of thousands of people, and where we have almost no latency. We cannot be dealing with 12, 15 seconds of lag. And, you know, you guys who are tuning in on YouTube right now, you're going to have some lag. And that's because YouTube's not going to spend the money on the servers for someone like me. And I'm not even running ads on this stream right now. So like, they're not making money on me really. So they're not going to dedicate the servers that we use for our students, which, you know, is understandable. But in any case, so those were sort of the two goals, and we built that out and we rolled it out. And then the next thing was, okay, well, let's start working on the scanners. Because at the time, you know, finding stocks to trade has always been, for beginner traders, a challenge. You don't really know how to find a stock to trade until you have a strategy. And so when you don't have a strategy, you don't know what to look for. By the time you have a strategy, then you still have to know how to program scanners. And so I thought, well, let's build scanners into our platform. So everyone that's here learning the strategy that I trade every single day, which is momentum, they've got the tools that they can use. So then we built in the scanners. And since we're subscribing to market data, we're already getting the data that we would need to populate charts. And so then we said, all right, well, let's work with TradingView. Let's license their source code. We're going to make some changes to it. We're going to customize it for trading, and we're going to add in the 10-second chart. So someone asked yesterday, Ross, I see you're not using eSignal anymore. Well, eSignal is $200 a month. It's $177 a month, and then plus market data. So it's about $200 a month. And that's just for charts. Now you can say, Ross, why don't you just use the charts that are included with Lightspeed? Well, some of you have seen them. They're not great. Or, you know, a lot of these platforms, they're not that great with charts. So anyway, so that's why I wanted to build them out here, because I knew that if we built it, if we included it, that you guys would be able to get access to things like the 10-second chart at a fraction of the cost. Of course, it's not free. I pay TradingView, I pay market data, I have my server fees, I have my developer costs. So there's cost with all of this, but my goal was to build what I thought was the ultimate day trading platform. So it's called Daytrade Dash. And those of you guys that want to subscribe just to the tools are of course welcome to do that at Daytrade Dash. If you don't want the education, you say, I don't need the classes. If you're interested in all the classes, my entire curriculum, then of course you can come check out Warrior Trading. And as you peruse the website, you'll probably at one point or another get a pop-up for our anniversary sale that we're currently running. So you can compare our membership tiers: Warrior Starter, Warrior Pro. Anyway, so I'm chit-chatting because there's not a lot right now to trade. We've got about 10 minutes to the opening bell. BMR is just in a range where it's in consolidation right now. It's just not a super obvious setup. You know, your 5-minute looks okay. Well, but it's kind of a head and shoulders. It's a head and shoulders with, you know, this being the shoulder, so we may see a move back down. All right, so let me check the locates on BMR now. They were 18 cents earlier, 18 and a half. Have they gone up? Now they're 24 cents. Yep. So they've gone up in price. So my goal with this platform is that anyone out there, you guys on Facebook, YouTube, of course, members of the community, anyone out there who is an active trader would use this platform because this is customized for day trading. People who are long-term investors, you know, doing covered calls and things like that, this is not for you. This go use TD Ameritrade or whatever, that's fine. But those of you guys who are day trading, who are looking for these fast-moving stocks each day, who want 10-second charts, who want to trade in a community with other people, this is the best place to be. And so I think we found kind of a good balance with giving you guys access just to the tools for people who say, no, I don't want the classes, I just want the tools. And then for those that want the education, we give you the education. The only thing that I'll say, as always, is that those of you guys who are opting in to just use the tools, you just have to remember that if you're bypassing the education, that means either you already know what you're doing or you're learning on your own. And I'm all for do it yourself. I get that, but also, what's the point in reinventing the wheel? In terms of strategy and some of these things, it's a lot of time and money potentially wasted. And that's what it was like for me getting started. It was years of trial and error. And I think that at the time was probably the only way, but it's not really like that anymore. So anyways, you guys decide for yourself and we give you options either way you want to do it. But I always just warn you that trading is risky. And I think you do yourself a favor by getting a good education. One of the things that we focus on a lot is risk management, because my biggest goal for you as you go through the classes is that I can help save you money by helping you avoid the rookie mistakes that I made. So, even if I can't, of course I can't guarantee how much money you could make or might make. If I can at least help you avoid losing money, that by itself is a great success versus you trading on your own and losing money. And many of you guys, I'm sure in one trade have lost $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You've had one single trade and you lose that much, and it's crazy how much you can lose and how quickly you can lose. And if you want to watch me do it, keep watching these shows, because there are times where in a matter of seconds I take a trade and lose thousands. All right, so but of course I'm in the long term profitable. All right, so a little bit of a pivot right there, but again, I'm not convinced that this is really a safe place to be a buyer. So it goes up, you've got 50 on the bid now, 54 on the ask, and then 40 on the bid, 37 on the bid, 36 on the bid. So you get that pop and then the flush back down. Oops. Yep, if you want access. So we don't have access right now to just my live broadcast. So you can subscribe on Day Trade Dash to all the tools, and you can add my live broadcast. We don't currently have just the live broadcast without the tools. But I mean, that you never know. Maybe at some point we would do that. So if you're on the email list, then you'll get an email if we decide to add that. Or you can always, if we have enough people that email and ask for it, maybe we'll make it. But I don't know that there's enough people that are interested in just that. Okay, so I would say this pivot here is 69. Right there, 569. Then you've got room back up to 597, but remember up at 6, we had that really big seller. Hold there. My goodness, we've got only 4 minutes to the opening bell. So what do you think this one's going to do at the open? Yesterday we had GCT pre-market with some really nice action, and then coming into the open, it was choppy, very choppy in the first 2 minutes, and then dropped back down. See, I draw a trend line based on where I think it touches in the most places. So, you know, you could draw it to the top up here. I think validity is, you know, if the more it kind of seems like it's right, then that's where I sort of think, okay, that's the spot to have it. So even though technically I would draw it here, and you know, if it looks like it connects more right there, then that may be the spot. This one right here, same kind of thing. You know, I could draw it right down here. It's hard to tell. So I'm a little concerned about the sellers that are still stacked up against $6 coming into the open. Now, if we can break through 6, next level is going to be 630. But remember, we had like 100,000 shares on the ask. So, you know, that's a real problem. But volume is good, 8 million shares of volume. So now this is a moment where I like to look at the 10-second chart because we've got 2, 4, 6, 7 green candles in a row. All right, so we're extended. There's the drop. Right, so now you look at the 1 minute and all of a sudden this is going to be a topping tail. We've got 7 seconds left on this 1 minute candle. It at the very least is a doji. It could be a shooting star. It looks like it's a shooting star. There it is. Yeah, so boy, that's a tricky candle. Hey, Carlos. So the biggest thing that I can say, he says, and thank you, by the way, for your service. The biggest thing that I can say is to practice in a simulator. That's the right place to start. You practice in a simulator. That way you're not putting real money on the line. So you get to kind of, you know, get immersed in the community. Be like, is this a good fit for me? Do I like this strategy? Do I like the way, you know, this feels? And if you do, then yeah, you know, the simulator is going to be great for you, and then keep practicing until you show profitability in the simulator. All right, so predictions for the open. We've got 1 minute. We're coming up on this double top at 6. Boy, I mean, it could break through 6 and 630 real quick. It wouldn't take that much, but I'm a little scared. So I guess we'll just see what happens. Those on YouTube, we're going to end the morning show here in just a moment. So what does it do here? So this is the spot where, you know, in the past we've seen this pop and then flush, the jackknife move, right? You know the move I'm talking about. So there's 592 on the bid. So it broke over and we're back below. This is tricky stuff. All right, well, it looks like we're coming to the open. I'm going to keep trading this for Warrior Pro students. Thank you guys on YouTube for tuning in, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning.